Hi, I am Pam with MA Crafts, and today I'm going to show a video, and I've started with the finished product, which is not my typical way of doing this, but I just felt like I wanted to do it this way this time. So I was going for a student desk, and I wanted it to have a draft table on it, and I wanted it to have a drawer and some cubby holes, and would do some more shelves, but this needs to be a small, specific to a room. So it's only 34 inches wide and 24 inches deep. But I just wanted to show it before I started because it's kind of cool. It has so the draft table comes up in the back, and it has all these different levels along with, basically all these different levels. And then you can bring it back down once you bring it up. And I've added a little holder here for when the draft table is up. So I'm very pleased with it. And now, without further ado, let's get started building it. So I have started with cutting out the plywood, making it more manageable for me. So it's a 2 foot by 4 feet. And then I'm going to start with cutting 3 different legs. And so the vision of it is going to have, there's going to be 2 legs, and then between that will be the sitting area, and then 1 more leg. And between those 2, we'll have probably 1 drawer and a couple of shelves. That's my plan. And then we'll have another layer on the top of that, which will actually be the draft table. But you'll see that as we go along. Now that we've cut all 3 legs and we've cut 2 of the support for the back, we're going to cut 4 different lengths. Well, not different lengths. We're going to cut 4 boards to accommodate for the box that's going to house the drawer and the shelves. Okay, I'm going to think a little bit about this, make sure I'm doing what I want to do. Because again, this is on the fly, so I've got to regroup a little bit because I think I'm going to end up with shelves as well. So I'm going to have to come back to you after I do a little bit more calculations. Okay, so I've decided to at least cut for the actual drawers themselves. So we're going to do 2 of these to support the drawer in the back and actually in the front. So that's going to be, I need to cut 1, 2, probably about 3. Now we're going to go ahead and cut 2 shelves so that we'll have the drawer and the 2 shelves. So once we cut the 2 shelves, then I'll figure out what else is needed to be done. But let's go from there. Now that we've started cutting the pieces, I like to start laying them out to see where we are and make sure that I've cut the right measurements and give me an idea of what else needs to be cut. So again, this is just starting something and not really having full plans, but we'll take it to the next step. Let's lay it out and see how we look and see what else needs to be done. So this may be a little hard to imagine, but it's laying on its side. So the bottom part's going to be the right side of the desk, and it'll have a drawer and then the 2 shelves. And then this part in the middle, or kind of the top part, that's going to be where the legs go and the chairs go. So I think it's pretty close to at least being able to put this part together, but don't breathe too hard because it will probably fall down. Stay tuned. Next step we want to take is to router out the edge for the back panels. So we're going to do that for one side, and we have to keep in mind this is 26 by 24, so we don't want to make a mistake and cut it on the wrong one. So I've got it laid out to cut the right one. So I'm going to do that first and then take our next step. If you're wondering why I ran it through twice, it's because the first time is to cut it, and the second time is just to make sure there's not any jagged edges so that the back panel will fit in appropriately. Now, to make our life a little bit easier, we're going to go ahead and cut out the holes for the shelving. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before we start putting it together. This may be an overkill, but I want to make sure that I have enough holes no matter where they want to put the shelves. Okay, now that we've cut these, now we can start putting the box together for the drawer and the shelves. So after careful consideration, I've decided to go ahead and put 1 shelf in to stabilize this, and then I'll do the brace up here. So I went ahead and drilled some holes for the dowels, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the shelf on the bottom and then it'll still give another shelf that's flexible to be able to move it up and down, and then the drawer up here. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to actually add the brace for the top where the drawer is going to go. Do the same on this side, and then we'll clamp it so it closes it up. Before I totally clamp it, I'm going to go ahead and put the one in the brace in the back so that when we do clamp it, it'll be the right size. Think I need a little persuasion to get it to fit in the middle. Okay, that's going to do quite nicely. I probably could go ahead and add one at the top to make sure that, well, the back actually, just to make sure we're still in line. And then we can move on to the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and do some pocket holes for the, actually this is in the back, and then one for the front, so it'll square it all up. Okay, so sorry I wasn't able to show you that, but basically I just put the screws in the pocket holes to do the back. I'll turn it around. So it gives you the view of the, this is actually going to be the top, but I went ahead and put these braces in, and then this way, this is the top. And then we can slide the panel in the back to cover where the drawers, and actually where the shelves will be. I'll do another one for the actual drawers. But for now, this is pretty much it. And then we will move to the next step. Not sure what it's going to be just yet, but stay tuned. So I went ahead and put the second shelf in it just to make sure it fits, and it appears like it will, so it can go anywhere. I may have to cut off the front just a little, but I'm going to wait until I've got all the frame built and everything to know exactly how much needs to be cut. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put one more brace up in this area, and that's actually going to be for the bottom of the shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the pocket holes and put that in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that looks good. So now I need to clamp it before I put the screws in so that it doesn't move. All right, so now we have the drawer, well, you know, the start of the drawer. And we've got the shelf that's going to fit. And the only other thing, I guess one of the other things to do is probably go ahead and add the other leg. And then that way I can figure out the framing, because I think I want to put a frame on the front of this so that I don't have to use so much furniture edging. So, so let's start putting the other leg on and go from there. So it's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 more strips, and that's going to be to hold the drawer in place. So when it slides in, it'll sit on top of those and slide in and out. Put a little wax on it later. But next, let's go ahead and cut 1.5 inches off. So do you ever cut pieces of wood and then set them down and don't remember where you actually set them? Well, that's what I just did. Okay, found them. I think it's going to work. So now we can, we could actually do the other side, like I said, and then we can do the drawer. And that'll pretty almost be done. But let's take it step at a time and see where we get to. So we're going to do the other side, attach it, and see how it's looking. Okay, so what I've done now is I've went ahead and clamped all 3 of these because I'm going to need 3 boards to give it the support for this leg over here. So I'm going to measure just to make sure I'm looking like I want to look. 32 3/4. Okay, so I think this is going to work. It's just maybe 1/16, maybe. But I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in these 3 boards over here that supports this other leg, and then we can go from there. So I say now we go ahead and unclamp it and see what it's looking like, but I think we're getting close. So here's another tip. When you're cutting extra wood, don't cut something you've already cut. So the shelf that I had for this area, I cut it. So now I'm going to have to cut another shelf. So stay tuned. Okay, so the only thing that I didn't show on camera is just cutting the shelf, but you know, you've seen me cut a shelf, so I didn't think that that was necessary. But the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut the sides for this drawer and then figure out the fronts and the back, how big they need to be. So there's just a couple of more steps we need to do. One is to cut the length of the boards that I put in. I just wanted to make sure that they were the right height and that they would fit. And then after we cut those off, then I'm going to cut the 1/4 inch using the router over here so that I can put the bottom in the drawer, and then I should be able to put the pocket holes and start putting the drawer together. So next step's coming. Okay, so now we're going to cut out using the router for the bottom of the drawer. Now that the drawer is clamped up, let's go ahead and put the screws in, and we should have a drawer except for the bottom. Okay, we have a separate drawer. Let's hope. Let's hope it fits. I think I would call it fits almost like a glove. Maybe not exactly, but yeah, it's close enough. Now just cut the bottom, the 1/4 inch plywood, and we'll have a drawer. And we'll pretty much have everything we need to put a top on it and a few more things, but we're getting there. But I've cut the 1/4 inch plywood for the bottom of the drawer. Let's see if it fits. Looks like it's a good fit to me, so now let's staple it in. Okay, now we have the drawer. So I'll put the drawer back in and see how it looks. So there you have it for at least this part of the desk. Still need to, like I said, do a little bit more to it, but I think for today this is a pretty good amount of work. So I'm going to take a break and start back up fresh tomorrow. See you then. It's now time to cut 2 tops because I'm going to do a 2-layer so that I can do the drafting table on the top one. So I'm going to cut 2 of these boards, and then after that we'll start assembling the top. Now that we've cut at least the first layer top for this desk, let's go ahead and put it up here and make sure it's looking good. We should be about a 1/2 inch off on each side and 1/2 inch in the front, and then we can start on the next layer. think this is going to work. We'll have to sand it down and put some weight on it to bring it down level with this so that when we put it together. But I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes for the pegs and in the top as well, and then we will put the top on. Now that I've lost the audio, I'm just going to walk you through the next few steps. I'm explaining here I want to round the tops of the desk to make it a little bit more smoother. And then I'm going to start cutting the strips that go between the two tops to create the drafting table. At this point, I've cut all the strips and I'm just laying them out to see how they line up. And then the next step I will do is to glue them and put the pegs in and add them to the top of the first layer of the desk. So here I'm using the rubber mallet to just get them down a little bit easier than trying to push them down. A little bit of glue, put the pegs in, hammer those in a little bit with my rubber mallet, and then add the side. Same thing for the top. Put the glue in the holes and then just tap it onto the top of the desk. So at this point I realized I had not drilled the holes in the top portion of this to attach it to the desk, so I'm doing that now. Okay, now that portion is done, I'm going to be working on the drafting table itself, which is putting up the four sides and then adding the top to it. Now that everything's lined up, I'm going to go ahead and add the piano hinge that was purchased so that the drafting table will be able to be lifted from the back. Now I just need to do the inside top and then we're pretty close to being done. At least with the build. The desks have been stained with a whitewash and they're just drying now. The drawers and the shelf have not been put back in, but they will come here in just a little bit. So here you see the right-handed desk, which has purple, and the yellow one is for the left-handed person. And here they are in the room. Pretty cute if I do say so. The one thing to take away from building the student desk is to build the boxes that go on in between the two levels first, and also probably do the furniture edging first. And other than that, it went fairly smooth, but I would just change a few things up to make it a little bit easier for me. But all in all, I like it, and I'm real pleased with it. And remember, make it right.